insanity.
Niggas always claim to set blood ain't from the hood. Hell no. You ain't never got put on.
Anybody in the hood?
I live in the hood, ass nigga. Never got put on, always claiming the hood though. Oh, you fucking with the homegirl, but don't come to the hood with none of your damn homeboys. They don't get a pass. Had the little homies press they ass for your tattoos. Had your mama waking up to some bad news. The plug saying groove, I'm a dime. I was long in the race, skinny nigga with the braids, took a 2-man fade.
I made this show quick. I came on quick.
To get my money right, but I was banging on the plane in the meeting with Jermaine. They like, poet, oh you bang? They forgot where I came from. I was gang when it wasn't fun. Homie doing life right now, cause we don't play from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. So you ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood ain't from the hood. Hell no. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. And that goes for these hoes too. Start fucking on niggas and throwing these niggas hood up. Ha, little dot dot. Heard you gave a homie head in the trap spot. Got a throwaway in the stash spot. Boy, you not real, like a Sasquatch. Boy, I'm so high, I'm seeing astronauts. Boy, I ball hard, I need a mascot. Oh, and Swahili, I'm a damu. My little cousin making paru. My nigga Uzi, he from Fadus. Pad blows, I be hanging with some real whoops. Gang signs out the window when we drive coupes. Making money with some crips like it's 92. Banging on tracks, banging on tracks. Back in my days, it was banging on. You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. So, you ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood ain't from the hood. Hell no. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood.
Fuck Chris Brown, nigga. Pull up in the hood right now, nigga. Catch your fade, nigga. Fuck, nigga. Frogs.
You ain't from the hood.
What's up, YouTube family of the YouTube people? What's up? How y'all doing? Oh shit, did I? Wait a minute, did I? Oh no, I did. We right here. My bad. I'm in the right area. What's up, my YouTube people? Happy to see y'all on here, mate. I had to do a quick show. I didn't have the time to do no setting or do no alert ringing bell to let you know I'm on. I had to go straight to the video. I actually forgot, and I didn't know what time I was gonna finish with this damn video. But welcome to the channel where you get the only channel. You get history, you get comedy, you get jokes, you get real shit, you get old shit, you get all kind of shit on this channel right here. You know what I'm saying? And if you like this channel, please leave a donation. We can't have the same people on here donating because I do too many damn videos. And if the same people donate to every video I do, they'll fuck around and go broke. So you need some people to help them out. Send a donation if you love this channel. Anyway, on with the show, you feel me? Now, I had to dig up some old shit, mix it with some new shit, because you know, George Bush, they just tried to assassinate your boy a couple of weeks ago, you know what I'm saying? It was all bad, but they wasn't going to accomplish it, but it was the thought, and it was the reason, and it was the reason he had an opportunity that I'm concentrating on why this nigga had the opportunity to come over here and do that shit in the first place. And we all know why he had that opportunity, you know what I'm saying, with this border out of control and shit like that. And Joe Biden let the country go wild. Terrorists coming back, you know, forming back up and stuff like that. So we know, oh, there we go right there. Rebecca Gillard, long time. What's up with Rebecca Gillard? What Rebecca say? What up, Black and everyone else? It's been a minute since I caught a live. We're glad you're here, then, Rebecca, as long as you catch it. If you don't catch it live, you can catch it recorded, but just catch it. Thank you, Rebecca Gillard, for the donation. More people need to be like Rebecca Gillard. Hey, anyway, Rebecca, I got something good, something old, something new, and I got something fresh for you. You feel me, Rebecca? Because we got to understand, right? We had to learn a lesson from 9/11. We had to learn a lesson from Iraq. We got to learn a lesson from Afghanistan and all that. But this video, I actually found another video where Donald Trump agreed with the Democrats and Barack Obama and calling the war dumb. Let's roll it. Let's get into it.
Now, and let's take a breath. We turn now to today's other top stories. The FBI says it has foiled an ISIS plot to assassinate former President George W. Bush.
Shihab Ahmed Shihab came to the U.S. on a visitor visa in 2020 and later.
That's a long ass name. That's a long ass name. They be having how you spell that shit? Like I don't even know how you pronounce that shit. That's a long spell it. They got some hard ass names. You got to come with some abbreviations when you come to America. Come with some nicknames or something. We're gonna call you Muhammad. That's it. Your ass is Muhammad. You got a turban on your head, your ass is Muhammad. Nothing offensive or nothing like that, but your ass is Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? These Asians got easy names, Kim and John and David Wu. And they got last names that fucked up, Wu and Chu and Chang and all, shit like that. But their first name is normal. Call yourself David Muhammad so we can pronounce that shit.
He applied for asylum in order to stay in this country. According to court documents, Shihab also tried to marry an American citizen in order to obtain permanent legal status.
The justice.
That's what a lot of them Africans do. They having them mail order brides, and a lot of dudes will be locked away in basements and stuff, want to get them an Asian broad or something, and they mail order them abroad from a foreign country, don't speak English and don't know nothing about America. He mail her and come over here, don't let her go outside, and she think he the sexiest motherfucker in the world because that's the only motherfucker he see. You know what I'm saying? He go shopping, he do all the stuff. He don't want to see no society. And as soon as she sees society, that nigga's over with. Huh? It's over with. After the marriage is over with. 2 years, she get divorced and nigga and leave, she gone.
The department has charged an Iraqi citizen living in Ohio with aiding and abetting the plot by planning to smuggle 4 ISIS operatives into the country to kill the former president.
Well, my grandmother, she smuggled 4 birds into the city of Chicago so she can serve them motherfuckers. She do a different thing. She smuggled something different. She don't smuggle, my grandmother don't smuggle immigrants. She smuggle birds. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. Huh? If my grandmother get caught, it's going to be a whole different jail sentence. She smuggled birds across state lines. Like immigrants, some of these people online are smuggling immigrants. She smuggled birds.
And what started as an immigration fraud investigation turned into a counterterrorism investigation. Shihab told undercover FBI agents he planned to smuggle multiple Iraqi nationals into the U.S., charging them each thousands of dollars to do it so that they could buy firearms in a van with him and help him assassinate former President Bush.
That's a damn shame. You gonna charge a nigga to help with the assassination. What kind of phone call is that? Hey, look, man, I need some help killing this motherfucker over here, but you gonna have to pay. You have to pay for your ticket, you have to pay for your guns, and you got to pay for your rooms. But I still want you to come over here and kill some motherfuckers. How many people would sign up for some shit like that? Huh? Over there in Iraq, they like, who is it? George Bush. I am there. I am there. Allah Akbar. I am there, brother in Bush. I am there. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. And all that other shit they say. They want President Bush. Who was that? Who was that? Cheers. That's M-Dub right here. Cheers. And thanks for the show on Monday. I missed it live. So here's something for my... don't go. M-Dub, I ain't giving my baby mama nothing. Huh? The only thing I give my baby mama is a free plane ticket one way to Afghanistan. That's the only thing I give her. Huh? I dress her up in an American flag suit with a George Bush and a Donald Trump hat and a Joe Biden button up and send her ass straight over there to the middle of Afghanistan on a one-way ticket, huh? With fireworks. That's the only thing I do for her, M-Dub.
Prosecutors say the plan to kill Mr. Bush was an ISIS-inspired plot in retaliation for the U.S. invasion of Iraq, which the former president ordered.
And then, as the conversations went along, at one point he begins to talk about his connections to ISIS. He says that he drove trucks and vehicles around Iraq that had explosives in them that were used to attack Americans. Whether that's true or not, there's no suggestion in the court documents. That's his claim.
We're going to lie about that. That's what they do. Nigga, I drove trucks with bombs in them. I'm a real terrorist, nigga. This not for play. Just not for play. I'm a real one. But is he real if he done told all of this shit? He done really snitched. All they done was arrest him. Unless they waterboarded his ass. Oh, what's up, James Touche? George Bush is an idiot if you would shoot him in the head, you would wait. You would hit an empty skull. His brain is hollow. Look, I mixed up some shit up in here, James Touche, to prove this nigga is dumb. I got something for you, James Touche, up in this skit on some empty brain shit with George Bush. I got you, James. Don't trip. I got you, James Touche. Hold on. You came to the right video, James.
And then as the months went by, he said he wanted to bring in 4 or 5 or maybe 6 Iraqis who would be willing to join him in a plot to assassinate the former president.
Men who should be prepared to die. According to a search,
Them motherfuckers said you gotta be prepared to die. You gotta pay your own money and be prepared to die. What kind of shit is that? Huh? Oh yeah. George Bush, one more thing. You gotta be prepared to die. Fuck it. I'm gonna have virgin wives. Allah Akbar, Akbar. I'm gonna be martyr like 9/11 around this motherfucker. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. They're gonna be screaming, James Touche. They be like, Allah Akbar. Is it? We gonna hit him in the skull? I don't want to hit him in the skull. That's gonna be empty. You know, we already know the nigga ain't got no brain. We gonna try something else. We just gonna strap a bomb to us and just blow some shit up, huh? We ain't got time for all that bullet shit. We don't get down like that. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar.
according to a search warrant obtained by CBS News, Shahab Ahmed Shahab, accompanied by an FBI informant, recently traveled to President Bush's home in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, this nigga riding with a snitch? Oh, nigga, no wonder you got busted. Nigga, you done told all your plans to a snitch. You didn't tell to the police. You done told all your plans to the snitch. The snitch riding with you like, yeah, we gonna get this nigga. Allah Akbar. He probably saying that shit with you. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. 9/11/2/11/684. This nigga crazy. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. We passing by the George Bush thing right now. This nigga talking about taking pictures and shit. Allah Akbar, Allah. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
And took 2 passes by the front access gate to record videos. They did the same outside the George W. Bush Institute, also in Dallas. Shahab allegedly planned to send the videos to former Iraqi security experts for advice on how to kill Mr. Bush.
They gonna get this nigga tutorial. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get this nigga tutorial. Like, okay, what you do is, let me see, let me see, you got this. You stand right here, and then when you see him, you Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, and you let the bomb go. Huh? Plan over. Good. Right? We done with the plane shit. We can't get on no more planes with the shit with no butter knives and razor blades and shit. Them niggas got guns on the plane now, and them niggas whooping people ass. They not going for no more 9/11 shit with a box cutter. Right? And we can't get 19 motherfucking people with turbans on the plane no more. You know what I'm saying? They got a ban on Muslims on planes. You know what I'm saying? It only can be 3 or 4 to a plane. They not letting 19 Muslims on the plane. If I see 19 motherfucking Muslims on the plane, I'm getting off. If I see 3 motherfucking Muslims on a bus, I'm getting off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? This does not look right up in here. It's 3 Muslims up in this bus. Who in the fuck? Okay, in the bus? What kind of Muslim catch buses? You know what? I will get on the next bus. Then as soon as the bus drive by, you hear Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, and that motherfucker turned into a mushroom. I said, damn, I got away with it. Look at George Bush dumbass. George Bush dumbass. This nigga so dumb. This nigga is talking about Ukraine, but this nigga uses himself like one world dictator raided Iraq. Nigga, you. This nigga went back and blamed and reminisced on himself.
And according to court documents, Shihab made a video of that with his cell phone. But the court documents say Shihab never actually sent the video anywhere because he was afraid that it would be intercepted by law enforcement. And that's pretty much it, Andrew.
While the FBI was watching, an FBI informant even showed Shahab possible weapons and a Border Patrol uniform to possibly use in the attack.
That nigga was setting up Muhammad Akbar all the fucking long. Like, yeah, nigga, you know I got uniforms. You want to use the bomb? They told you to use the bomb? Well, I got the uniform and you can stand in front of the gate. Huh? I'm with you, my brother. Hey, Get this nigga a suit out of the costume store. You know what I'm saying? This nigga want a suit. Get this nigga a suit. You know, the one on Coke and Dagger. You know, the old movie Coke and Dagger with the dude with the mustache. Get him an old Coke and Dagger suit with fucking whistles and bells and stars on it and shit. 10-4. Allah Akbar. I'm with you, bro. Allah Akbar.
The threat from international terrorism is alive and well. ISIS has not gone away.
They were, but there's some notable takeaways here, Andrea. First, we clearly have not seen the last of ISIS or ISIS-related bad actors out there. In fact, some of the names this guy was throwing around, if he indeed had affiliation with them, are known players.
Well, if my baby mama lasts any damn longer and she's still around this year, I'm going to start throwing my hitman name out. That he ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna throw my hitman name for everybody to know. Don't hire this nigga because this nigga take too damn long to do a damn hit, right? So we on the same page. It gotta happen. It got to happen. It's not over with.
In the Ba'ath Party or known former associates of Saddam Hussein. So they're out.
These types of threats are very real.
Prosecutors say Shahab, who claimed to have connections at the highest levels of ISIS, wanted to kill Mr. Bush because he broke up the country with many Iraqis dying.
So there's no suggestion that any of the people he wanted to get here to do this were ever smuggled into the U.S.
Nigga, you only caught the last batch. Nigga, you think that was the first time he smuggled some motherfucking terrorists over here? You know how many trips this nigga would have that was successful? Well, there's no indication. Matter of fact, he did because he was working with the snitch. The snitch knew exactly how many people came over here. He like, oh, you getting these niggas flights? This nigga's for real. Catch these niggas at the border. Catch these niggas on the plane, huh? We got Muslims on the plane. It's 6 of them on the plane. Catch all of them, and we're going to arrest this nigga right here.
No suggestion that he had any firearms or capability to do this on his own. It's just an idea that he had in his head. But
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me 19-year-old kids can get guns, but a terrorist can't get a damn gun? What kind of shit is that? They arrested him with no guns. This nigga just had pictures and camera work. That's why he was getting the money over there from Iraq. Like, hey, man, I need y'all to come over here and bring some money for some weapons. I got the plan. I got the pictures. I got the video. And me and Muhammad Ali over here, you know what I'm saying? We've been doing all kind of shit. He's my brother. He know everything. He got the hookup. He gonna hook us up with suits, and he got bombs, and he got phones, and he got everything over here. Muhammad Ali over here got everything. So me, Muhammad, and Muhammad Ali, we over here chilling. Come on over here and bring some money for some guns. Because me and Muhammad Ali ain't got no money.
he never did any much with it.
Or secondly, there is a connection to the border here in the sense that he was planning, at least, to get people through the border with Mexico to do bad things here.
Yeah, I want to turn now to Title 42, which, as you know, has been being used for more than 2 years. It was a Trump-era creation to block 1.8 million migrants from entering the U.S. and having their asylum cases heard. I was in Eagle Pass, Texas on Friday. I spoke with elected officials, all Democrats, who don't want to see Title 42 lifted.
And they were going to choose to come across the Mexican border because that was the easier way to get access to our country.
That's where the terrorists coming from. The terrorists coming from the Mexico border. They're like, the terrorists over there like, nigga, guess what? We don't have to sneak in and join the school and apply for visas no more. We can just sneak in through the border, nigga. Huh? They let motherfuckers in. We can act like we Mexican or something. Like, you know any Spanish? I can learn it. Huh? They be like, what's your name? What's your name? Jose? What'd you say? Jose? Your name is Jose. Jose Allah Akbar. Jose Rodriguez. What you say? My name is Jose Rodriguez. That don't sound like no Mexican accent to me. I mean, my bad. I am from the other side of the Mexican bridge. I do not understand what you're talking about. I am not from over here. Get your ass over here, Habib. Get him. This nigga's a terrorist. I knew your mustache looked a little funny.
we have been privy to a number of videos and a number of information that shows that there's over 100,000 migrants just ready for Title 42 to end. We don't have the resources and we don't have the manpower to be able to handle that.
There's even
look, you know what they ought to do? You know what they ought to do? This the real shit, right? This is what they ought to do, right? In order to gain citizens, right? Since they're gonna let people in, right? They're gonna let people in, right? You do like this. You start them off on one side of the border, right? And then you play green light, red light, all the way to the other side of the border. You know what I'm saying? Green light, red light, you know what I'm saying? And then the people who can make it on the green light can come over. And the people who don't make it on the red, with the red light and stuff like that, they got to stay put. Play green light, red light, and then let's let them people come in. Right? We got to have some kind of rules and regulations around here, right? Or let them shoot dice for whoever, like 5 to a game, one winner, or Monopoly or some shit, Let them play and prove that they can do something that's productive. Huh? Make it a immigrant triathlon or some shit, right? Like put some alligators in there and shit, you know what I'm saying? Some alligators, a couple of piranhas, a wild bear or two or some shit like that, and like 3 tigers. If they can make it over that, you know what I'm saying? Them motherfuckers deserve to be over here. Huh? A tiger, a bear, and an alligator? And they got babies in their hand? You know what? She passed the triathlon. She give her a bus ticket to anywhere she want to go. Because evidently she is a super fucking woman. And we need her over here. We need her super strengths. She dodging alligators, tigers, and bears, and she had a baby on her back. You know what? She deserved to be over here. She beat the bear ass. We got to get another bear. She done beat the bear ass. She done beat the bear ass to get over here and bit the shit out of the tiger. We got to get another bear and a tiger. This immigrant was determined to get over here. She bit the bear and beat the tiger ass. Oh, God.
There's even some reporting here that he may have, or at least bragged about possibly having smuggled somebody from Hezbollah in through the border.
Whoever is going to be making decisions right now, I wish that they were here to see what we're having to face. If you're not in the trenches, it's very easy to make decisions from far away.
But bitch, you a Democrat, tell Kamala. Don't you got her private number? Tell Kamala, see the borders are like, Kamala, bitch, you better come on down here. This shit's getting out of control. They crossing with babies on their head. If he got a baby or a grown person on his head, right? It should be a couple of I'm telling you, right? You can end a border crisis, put a couple of alligators in that motherfucker. That would end it. You put some alligators in that motherfucker, and it's like, okay, well, this is a habitat now. This is a natural habitat. We put some alligators and some piranhas in this motherfucker. You don't have to have no motherfucking wall. You don't have to have no damn border security guards, guarding the security. You ain't gotta have no damn drones and none of that shit. Put some alligators up in that motherfucker. If you make it through this motherfucker, bring your ass on over here. Bring your ass through. Huh? Look, matter of fact, we have a Budweiser and a plane ticket for your ass. Soon as you get over this motherfucker. If you make it through them alligators and them bears, motherfucker, your ass is good. This like you ain't even gotta you can just put a cage and just put bears on in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Put a cage or a fence on both sides and put bears in the middle. You ain't gotta do shit. Right? They will protect the motherfucker. It's a natural attack. You can turn that motherfucker into a tourist site. Like, look at the zoos and look at the monkeys and you can hire my baby mama too. You know what I'm saying? The monkey part. Look at the tigers and the bears and the alligators. And over there, look over there. Look at the immigrants. They used to come over here. We be telling our future kids, like, yeah, them people over there, they used to come over here all the time. They don't come over here no more. They waiting for Title 55 for them to kill the motherfucking alligators. Oh shit, these motherfuckers crazy.
But I wish it shouldn't. It can't. I hope they keep that in mind.
But my point is, what if they hadn't gotten around the encryption? What if this was still continuing and surveillance turned into actual planning, plotting, acquisition of material, and the FBI could not get around the encryption? So it's a constant battle against technology.
On Monday, George W. Bush will...
Hey, they done got over here, right? Because I trust me, right? My grandmother, right? She make more money smuggling immigrants than she do selling drugs, right? Like she make and it's less hours. You feel me? And she wish the police would check her motherfucking car, right? So she get a free pass anyway, you know? So she make way more money smuggling immigrants, right? And the cold thing about it, she don't even smuggle them, right? She don't smuggle them in a truck, in a van. She don't put them inside of no truck or under a car. She don't do nothing. My grandmother smuggled them on a bike. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, nothing. Like this, 2 on the handlebars and two on the back of the thing, and she ride across the border, straight across. And she down to fuck with her. Huh? They might as well say them ornaments. Because my grandmother smuggled immigrants left and right. She making more money smuggling immigrants. She ain't going to let the Mexican mafia make all the money. But anyway, Donald Trump disagreed with the damn war.
Campaign in South Carolina for his brother. As you said tonight, and you've often said, the Iraq War and your opposition to it was a sign of your good judgment. In 2008, in an interview with Wolf Blitzer talking about President George W. Bush's conduct of the war, you said you were surprised that Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi didn't try to impeach him. You said, quote, which personally I think would have been a wonderful thing, close quote. When you were asked what you meant by that, you said, for the war. For the war. He lied. He got us into the war with lies.
You said Nancy should have impeached his ass. Bitch, you impeached me twice and you didn't impeach this nigga not one damn time? That's prejudice. You should have impeached this idiot, right? That let you know that George Bush was a damn rhino. He sitting up there kicking it with Barack Obama, right? He kicking it with Bill Clinton and stuff. They all taking pictures together and shit. And he ain't done nothing with Donald Trump. That nigga's a rhino. Look at it. Look at it. Duck, nigga. Motherfucker. James Touche, you remember that shit? James Touche? Remember that? Like, this nigga was like, you had to be angry. You sit in the audience, this nigga lying. He done killed your people, right? They didn't let you sneak in no gun. They checked you for bombs out the door, right? You ain't got no knives in your shoe. Like, what can I do? Right? A belt ain't gonna make it, right? I finna throw a shoe at his motherfucking ass. This lying son of a bitch, like, you mother. And that nigga ducked. That nigga had reflexes, right? If he would have aimed a little lower, he should have aimed a little lower. He's like, look, he should have aimed, he said, look, the first one missed, and he should have measured the second one, like, okay, this nigga finna duck. If I aim this motherfucker a little lower, he can't go beyond that desk. Yak, yak. He's done it twice. That motherfucker's mad. Like, you lying son of a bitch. You get on here and lie. You lying son of a bitch. Yap, yap. Should have measured that with my nigga.
When I look out over this crowd today, I know there is no shortage of patriots.
I know there's no shortage of patriots. That's before Barack Obama learned how to do that job. Hey, Nick, they told him, hey, slow down. Stop calling people patriots. But this one, Barack Obama was calling George Bush stupid.
Or patriotism. What I do oppose is a dumb war.
That George W. Bush, which was our last Republican president, a man I respect greatly, a person that we really fought for when he was up against a lot of pressure, that he lied to get us in the war in Iraq. That stung me very deeply. Okay. I don't believe that. I'm just wondering, given some time passing, perhaps you've rethought that?
Obviously, the war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake, all right? Now, you can take it any way you want.
In contrast,
huh? You can take it any way you want to. It was a big fat mistake, right? Even George Bush, like, it was the dictatorship, right? He made a mistake and said Vladimir, but he was talking about himself, or he was talking about himself, and he meant Vladimir.
Contrast.
Who was that, Buffalo Soldier? Buffalo Soldier. Black is on fire with the streams. Keep it up, man. Good looking out, Buffalo Soldier. I don't keep it up, man. Keep these donations up. You and James Touche and MJ Dub and Rebecca Gillard. Don't even trip. I got you. This was James Touche one. He wanted to see how dumb George Bush really was.
Russian elections are rigged. Political opponents are imprisoned or otherwise eliminated from participating in the electoral process. The result is an absence of checks and balances in Russia and the decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Iraq.
Ha! Nigga, that's you. Nigga, that's you. You like, wait a minute. What did you say, Mr. Bush? What did Mr. Bush say? Launch the what?
An absence.
What did you launch, Mr. Bush?
Of checks and balances in Russia and the decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Iraq.
A wholly unjustified, brutal invasion of Iraq. This nigga like, nigga, that's me. Wait a minute, let me clean this shit up.
I mean, of Ukraine. Iraq, too. Anyway. 75.
Damn, and Joe Biden's still older than you. And you've been president 20 years ago.
Would you be willing to rethink that?
Well, a lot of people agree with what I said.
Us rushing him.
Especially Barack Obama. Barack Obama agreed with what you said because you said it before Barack Obama said it, right? Donald Trump was on record for saying the war was stupid before Barack Obama was on record before saying the war was stupid. So a lot of people agree with him, including Barack Obama.
What I said.
Us rushing headlong into a war unilaterally was a mistake and may still be a mistake. If it has happened, then at that point what the debate's really going to be about is what's our long-term commitment there? How much is it going to cost? What does it mean for us to rebuild Iraq? How do we stabilize and make sure that this country doesn't splinter into factions between the Shias and the Kurds and the Sunnis?
And I'm not talking about lying. I'm not talking about not lying. Nobody really knows why we went into Iraq. The Iraqis did not knock down. It was not Saddam Hussein that knocked down the World Trade Center. Okay.
Yeah. So what if the guy threw a shoe at me?
That nigga said, so what if a guy threw a shoe at me, right? George Bush finna try to turn this into some positive shit, right? And so what? He done fucked up their country. Dude got mad, threw a shoe at him on national TV, right? And this all this nigga got to say. So what? He threw his shoe at me. This nigga got an ad lib right now, right? He's off script like Joe Biden.
No, I consider it an important step on the road toward an Iraq that can sustain itself, govern itself, and defend itself.
That's just wait. A nigga throwing a shoe at you. You got all of that out of a nigga throwing a shoe at you. No, wait a minute. This nigga stupid. This is your old president. This nigga said, so what? The nigga threw a shoe at me. It's a way to show they having freedom. This nigga stupid. You right, James Touche. They hit an empty skull, James.
Yeah. So what if the guy threw a shoe at me? No, I consider it an important step on the road toward an Iraq that can sustain itself, govern itself, and defend itself.
That's just what you said was they lied. They said there were weapons of mass destruction, and there were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass.
Well, there are a lot of people that think that.
I've looked at the evidence. I'm a hawk when it comes to defeating terrorism. I was strongly supportive of Afghanistan. I would have picked up arms myself to prevent 9/11 again. I don't think the president has made the case on Iraq because I don't see weapons.
You said this before.
I said this in October of 2002.
There were a lot of
Nigga, Donald Trump said it way before then. You can, before you. And it's on record. Huh? Donald Trump's.
There were a lot of people that think, look, bottom line, there were no weapons of mass destruction. They said there are weapons of mass destruction. I was against the war when it started.
But let me talk about the guy throwing the shoe. It is one way to gain attention.
You think the president of the United States, George W. Bush, lied?
Well, look,
to
I'm not going to get you a
people?
vote, but that's okay. Let me
I'm just giving you another shot
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you very simply.
It's like going to a political rally and having people yell at you.
I want to talk about the guy who threw the shoe, right? It's like going to a political rally and having people yell at you. This nigga is genius. This nigga got to go off school. Let me talk about the nigga who threw the shoe. I didn't know, Bush, don't do it. Don't do it, Bush. It's like going to a rally and having people yell at you. This nigga done it. Nigga, we just told you don't do it. Hey, Bush, read what's in the teleprompter. Don't do it, Bush. He done it.
It may have been the worst decision going into Iraq, may have been the worst decision any president has made in the history of this country. That's how bad it is, okay?
It's never before seen footage of British soldiers invading Iraq in 2003. It was taken on the 24th of March and shows Royal Marine Commandos on the Al Faw Peninsula in the southeast of the country. Within a month, they had completed the first part of their mission, capturing Basra while the Americans went north and took the capital of Baghdad.
The Brits and Americans was getting at it. Look at Tony Blair. Remember Tony Blair?
They had to find Iraq's brutal dictator, Saddam Hussein, and disarm him of his weapons of mass destruction. There was one problem, though. Saddam didn't have any.
What you mean Saddam didn't have any? That's why this nigga was mad throwing his shoe at him. What you mean Saddam didn't have no weapons of mass destruction? Mr. George Bush said that nigga had a gang of weapons of mass destruction.
It's like driving down the street and have people not gesturing with all 5 fingers.
What gesturing is like going down the street and having people not gesturing with all 5 fingers? What do you mean, the fuck you sign? I don't know, or are they waving? I don't understand what you're talking about, right? You should have said 2 finger or 1 finger salute or something. Give us a definition of what you're talking about, George.
Here's what happens. We have spent $2 trillion in Iraq and fighting Iraq. $2 trillion. Thousands of lives, right? We have wounded warriors who I love all over the place. These are the most incredible. These are braver than all of us in this room put together. I look at the attitude and I work with them, and these are great people.
These journalists here were very apologetic. They were said this doesn't represent the Iraqi people, but that's what happens in free societies where people try to draw attention to themselves.
We got nothing. We have nothing. We're not even there. We can't even make a phone call right now.
But it's a way for people to draw, attention. I don't know what the guy's cause is, but one thing is for certain: he caused you to ask me a question about him.
But one thing's for certain, he caused you to ask me a question about him. I don't know his purpose. His purpose, he wanted to hit your ass with a shoe, nigga. That's what his purpose was. He wanted to inflict pain on your ass.
His question.
I'm trying to separate.
Let me tell you. Do I know?
Do you believe he lied, or do you think?
I can tell you this. I don't whether he lied or not. He went into Iraq. It was a horrible decision.
And so, I guess he was effective because he caused you to say something about it. Now, in terms of the agreements, this is a major achievement. Is it the end?
And the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
So why were these soldiers looking for weapons of mass destruction?
An axis of evil, arming to threaten the peace of the world.
And it took Jeb Bush, if you remember at the beginning of his announcement, when he announced for president, took him 5 days. He went back. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. Took him 5 days before his people told him what to say. And he ultimately said it was a mistake. The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes.
And why did the Iraq war happen in the first place?
The security of the world requires disarming Saddam Hussein now.
Of what, nigga? Of what? He ain't got shit.
Terror attacks on the 11th of September 2001 shook the world.
Our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
Al-Qaeda terrorists hijacked US passenger planes and flew them into both World Trade Centers in New York and the Pentagon in Washington. Almost 3,000 people were killed. But the 9/11 terror attacks were committed by Al-Qaeda.
Al-Qaeda! That was a different... That's a different motherfucker. That's not the same people you went over there and said had weapons of mass destruction.
Who mainly operated out of Afghanistan, while Iraq, they had nothing to do with it.
Thomas, your reaction when you first heard the president joking in that way?
My initial reaction was, how callous. He has hundreds of thousands of men and women on the front line and in Baghdad in general.
Those weapons...
And he want to joke, right? He got people injured. He got people dying. He got people got missing family members, and he want to joke about weapons of mass destruction. That is some of the most disrespectful shit I ever seen in my life. Right? You got a dying soldier, right? And you got not just him, right? But you got thousands of soldiers just like him watching you joke on TV about weapons of mass destruction. That is some of the most disrespectful shit I ever heard in my life. That's some old democratic shit.
Weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere. Nope, no weapons over there. Maybe under here.
That is disrespectful. You sitting up there making a joke in a skit about looking for weapons of mass destruction and sent them soldiers over there, and there was no weapons of mass destruction. Lives ended, lives ruined for nothing.
Fighting because of some fictional weapon of mass destruction that he just
wait
decided to walk around the office and fake hide and seek with WMD. That was a shaming moment for me.
But that...
Wait, what was that? Epstein Ghost. Epstein Ghost say, Bush Sr. and his boy are New World Order demons. Thanks for the great work, Black. Good looking out, Epstein Ghost. Huh? Bush a demon. Man, you gotta feel sorry for that dude. What if that was you that risked your life for a fucking lie and you dying? And he's sitting up there joking about it. How fucked up would you feel?
That one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
And the Dixie Chicks main singer got in trouble for saying that overseas she is ashamed of President Bush from Texas. I, for one, am ashamed of President Bush.
He ashamed of the president. I'd be ashamed of his ass too. If he lied to me and had me pumped up and thinking I'm going to protect the country and going over there and looking for weapons of mass destruction to protect the world, and you lied to me and I'm injured for life, hell yeah, I'd be mad.
I said to him the other day, George, if you really want to end tyranny in the world, you're going to have to stay up later. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a desperate housewife.
Was an American.
And Phil Donahue.
And then to hear Laura make the joke about her being a desperate housewife, there are tens of thousands of military widows who would want nothing more than to be a desperate housewife as long as their husband was safe at home.
So you still think he should be impeached?
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
So George Bush, in his State of the Union address in January 2002, declares an axis of evil,
arming to threaten the peace of the world.
Remember that? Access of evil. Around that time, that's when I was getting into the Illuminati shit, right? I mean, into conspiracy theories and shit, right? Like Eckhart Tolle. I'm not Eckhart Tolle. You know, the famous dude, I keep on, David Icke, and a couple of other books, you know what I'm saying, by other artists I can't think of right now. And one thing about how they say how politicians make people believe shit is by repetition, right? I don't know if people saw this video. It was an old video, and they were showing Barbara Bush on there talking about the access of evil, and this bitch wasn't even blinking. See, you know what I'm saying? Her and Clinton, they showed Clinton like he was like hypnotized and putting on makeup, and he wasn't blinking and shit. Then he got up in there, and he talked about the access, and he was talking about the same shit, and he wasn't blinking. I mean, it was like, it was a crazy ass video. But they say one way to make somebody believe something or turn a lie into a truth, right, is by repetition. If you said enough, people believe it, right? And when George Bush kept on saying this access of evil and the evil ones, and then, I mean, he had people believe it. They crashed into the plane, and I mean, you see people on with turbans on the street, you know, oh, this motherfucker's evil, this motherfucker's a terrorist, right? He made people turn on this certain group of people by calling them the access of evil. And kept on, every time he got on TV, evil, evil, evil. Same thing kind of Joe Biden was doing with the COVID thing, right? But every time he go, this motherfucker's evil, evil, evil. Then people recite that shit.
By seeking weapons of mass destruction, these regimes pose a grave and growing danger. They could provide these arms to terrorists, giving them the means to match their hatred. The price of indifference would be catastrophic.
I remember hearing from one of my instructors, the United States has never lost a war. And then after that, it's like, we haven't won anything. We don't win anymore.
We don't win no wars, right? Like, right, what do we come out winning, right? Like, when we pulled out of Afghanistan, what did we win, right? Soldiers home and stuff like that, but what do we get out of that, right? Do we win anything out of these wars, right? So if we don't lose no wars and we don't win no wars, what is we doing? Just tying?
The old expression, to the victor belong the spoils. You remember I always used to say, keep the oil. I wasn't a fan of Iraq. I didn't want to go into Iraq.
He didn't want to go into Iraq. He don't want to go into it then. He don't want to go into it now. Right? But keep the oil. Donald Trump was preaching that before he was president, way when he was on Oprah. Keep the oil. You in these countries, keep the oil. Keep it. That's our oil now. Fuck how the world think. We done lost soldiers, we done lost blood, we done lost money. We paid for this oil. Keep the oil.
It wasn't that Iraq had a hand in 9/11. It was the fear that Iraq could have a hand in the next 9/11, which would be even worse thanks to the use of weapons of mass destruction.
Which they didn't have. It'd be worse if they had them, but they didn't have them, so it can't be worse. It was impossible.
However, things had started to change after the first Gulf War. In 1990, Iraq invaded the small oil-rich nation of Kuwait before an international coalition led by George Bush's father responded. They pushed Saddam back into Iraq, imposed strict sanctions, and introduced UN weapon inspectors who began disarming Iraq of its WMDs.
They didn't have none. And you should have took the oil, like Trump say, take the oil, win.
But I will tell you, when we were in, we got out wrong. And I always said, in addition to that, keep the oil. Now, I said it for economic reasons.
Saddam was left in power, providing a useful counter to Iranian influence in the region. successive US presidents decided against removing him, reluctant to get bogged down in a long war. But that perception started to shift after the NATO invasion of Afghanistan in 2001.
The war in Afghanistan looks like it's going really well. They're starting to hold elections, they're introducing democracy. The success of the initial invasion into Afghanistan leads to the idea that something similar could potentially be done in Iraq.
They said, fuck that, we not finna do that in Iraq. That's the same thing Vladimir Putin talking about right now. You can't be spreading that that American shit over here, that Western culture shit over here. We finna stop this shit. That's the same thing Vladimir Putin talking about right now.
But if you think about it, Mike, if we kept the oil, you probably wouldn't have ISIS because that's where they made their money in the first place. So we should have kept the oil. But, okay.
Keep the oil, like Donald Trump say. Donald Trump is a businessman. If he would have raided some shit, he would have kept the oil.
By this point, President George Bush had already decided to take action against Iraq. He was convinced of the threat they posed. But the US didn't want to go to war alone. They needed allies. The natural choice being the United Kingdom across the Atlantic. British Prime Minister Tony Blair already had a strong personal relationship with Bush, telling him, "I will be with you whatever."
Oh, that's like a homie right there. Nigga, I'll be with you whatever, right? They say a true friend will bail you out of jail. But your real friend be in jail with you like, man, how we gonna get out of this shit? Huh? That's the difference between a friend and a real friend. A friend will bail you out of jail, but your real friend will be right there with you like, man, how we gonna get out of this shit? It's a difference. Tony Blair said, I'm your real friend.
In a letter from 2002. But there was one big obstacle to British involvement in Iraq.
They can't form a legal case for war in Iraq based on regime change. And so the legal basis for war in Iraq for the UK eventually is to pursue any means necessary to ensure that Iraq is disarmed of weapons of mass destruction.
So they lied on them, right? Say, oh yeah, they got that shit over there, right? We can't go to war because of regime change, right? We can't use that excuse because that would be illegal. But we can go over there for weapons of mass destruction. Fuck it, they got weapons of mass destruction. Hey, Black, remember Epstein had a painting of Bush Jr. Young guitar in paper planes on his. Oh yeah, he did have a Bush painting. You know Bush is an old pedophile too. This nigga had the young Barack Obama when Barack Obama was a kid giving him candy. What do you think? Come on, man. Come on, Epstein ghost. Huh? He's still giving Barack candy now. Who give kids candy? Child molesters. You hit that one on the button, Epstein ghost. Child molesters. It's all intertwined.
Maybe you'll have another chance. But the fact is, you should have kept the oil.
The UK's preferred means of doing that was through the United Nations, using sanctions and weapons inspectors to disarm Iraq peacefully, if possible. In November of 2002, the UN passed Resolution 1441, giving Saddam one last chance to give up his weapons of mass destruction.
It's like, nigga, I will give them up, but I ain't got none. We're going to give you one more motherfucking chance to give up your... They lying on nigga. Hey, Saddam, we're going to give you one more chance to give up your weapons of mass destruction, or we coming in there to get them. Like, come on. Like, give me about another month. Let's make some weapons of mass destruction to get these motherfuckers. They're going to come up in here and try to take over and do some regime change, right? They're going to try to get me up out of here with some weapons I ain't got. Well, that's a regime change. That's why the UK couldn't go to war. Well, we can't go to war over regime change, but if you say that motherfucker got some weapons of mass destruction and we got to get his ass up out of there, we can go with that. That's a regime change. If they going to war to get your ass up out of there and give you an ultimatum, get up out of there or else, that's a regime change. These motherfuckers is crazy.
The issue was, he didn't have any. So why did Britain and the US believe that Saddam had WMDs? Iraq had allowed inspectors back into the country under Resolution 1441, but without being fully compliant. For the US, That gave cause for war, but the Security Council still remained unconvinced.
like we want to go to war. You're like, man, we let you check the motherfucker. No, they tripping. They got more shit over here we need to check. Like, nigga, they ain't got no weapons. Yes, they do. Bush like, yes, they do. I can smell it. We like, man, we not convinced with you, Bush. We can't go ahead and okay this shit. Well, fuck it, we finna do it anyway. I got the UK to have my back. We got to do a regime change.
There's two main camps. So on the one side you have Spain, Britain, and the United States who are working to build a coalition to support military action. And on the other you have France, Germany, and Russia who are opposed to military action. I mean, these negotiations are going on right up until the invasion, basically, 48 hours before.
What eventually tipped the scales was the weather.
If you try to invade Iraq in the summer, it's going to be too hot. A campaign against Iraq needs to happen early on in the year. George Bush runs out of patience, I think, basically. Issues an ultimatum, a final ultimatum to Saddam Hussein.
They said George Bush ran out of patience and said, you know what, Saddam Hussein, it's finna be summer and I ain't got all my, it's finna be winter. I mean, winter finna end, it's finna be summer and we ain't got all motherfucking days. It's gonna be too hot to go to war. So you got about another motherfucking week. Fuck all that 90-day shit. You got about, no, matter of fact, you got 3 days. Before your ass got to get up out of there. 3 days. We giving you 3 days, nigga. I got shit to do. The football game coming on. North Carolina versus Duke coming on, nigga. I got shit to do, Saddam. Stop playing.
The 17th of March.
Saddam Hussein and his sons must leave Iraq within 48 hours. Their refusal to do so will result in military conflict.
Matter of fact, you ain't got 72 hours. You got 2 days. I want to barbecue on Saturday so I can rest on Sunday, because the Lord say take the Sabbath off, and I don't want to, interfere with the Lord's plan. So, nigga, you got 48 hours. And wait a minute. Now, I've been here doing a press conference, so now you got 47 hours and 30 minutes.
As you might expect, Saddam and his sons refused. The US readied for war, while in the UK, the House of Commons voted overwhelmingly for the use of military force.
Wait a minute. You mean you were finna go on a military war, right, with a motherfucker with weapons of mass destruction, right? You wasn't scared the motherfucker might unleash some bombs on you? Like, yeah, they got weapons of mass destruction, but go there and put some foot soldiers on the ground. I'm like, nigga, they only got weapons. They can launch missiles at us. Nigga, no, man, they ain't got no real weapons. This going over there, nigga. We just said that shit. We ain't got no real weapons. We wouldn't put you motherfuckers on the ground if they had real weapons of mass destruction. Think about it.
Against Iraq. On the 20th of March, the invasion began, with these Royal Marines some of the first to set foot on Iraqi soil. At first, the invasion was a huge success, with British troops taking Basra while the main force moved on to Baghdad. But the worst was yet to come.
The Iraq War is one of the most controversial wars since 9/11, unquestionably. The Iraq War has had a massive impact on how military interventions are perceived. I don't think anybody could necessarily have quite predicted just how catastrophic it would turn out to be.
Your reaction? And that shit was catastrophic. Tom! I see Tom in the building. What's up, Tom? Huh? Tom! Hey, but came back and subscribed. You ain't went nowhere, Tom, talking about came back and subscribed. Almost made Tom smile. Tom almost made me cry. Tom, like, he was almost satisfied with a video on, he said some shit like that, like, I almost cried, like, oh, Tom said he almost satisfied with a video. Oh, they're gonna bring a tear to my eye. Tom, oh, Tom. Tom, did you know it's terrorists crossing the borders, Tom? Huh? And did you know my grandmother is smuggling them across the border? I hope YouTube don't catch that. YouTube, that's my grandmother, that's not me. I'm snitching on my grandmother. Get her!
To Bill's reporting about the Saudi national captured in the Yuma sector wearing an EMS uniform from upstate New York.
We sent a letter to DHS last August, okay? So it took 8 months. and my office finally got a response back 8 months later for the detailed questions we had asked, one of which they answered indicating that there were 42 individuals arrested with known ties to, terrorists.
Now, think about this. If they can't count the immigrants that came over here, what made you think they can count the terrorists? 42? Out of the whole motherfucking world that hate the United States, right? Out of all 162 countries, and out of all the countries got terrorists, right? You mean you only call 42? One from each country? Or you call one batch? Like, how many did you catch? And how did you catch them? Huh? 42? That's it. The border been open for 2 years. Nigga, you only call 42? It's a million. It's a million plus migrants that came over here, right? That was caught, right? They're not talking about the getaway. They said the getaway is probably triple. Them motherfuckers is they so smart. They got technology on their foot. They be wearing like Jesus sandals and when they walk, they wipe their foot tracks with the leaves and shit, right? They be leaving like, and it be all sparkling and shit. I'm like, these motherfuckers done created a whole new dirt path. They good. They be climbing trees and all kind of shit. I'm telling you how to put a zoo in that motherfucker, and they won't be put monkeys in the trees, alligators by the fence, monkeys in the cage, and you can do that. They won't get over here. If they do, get them motherfuckers a Coke and a smile and a plane ticket. But think about this. As wide open as the border is right now, right, and as many as countries that as coming back and building terrorist networks and stuff, you don't think some of these terrorists are smart enough to sneak through here and not get caught? If the border was wide open? You don't think somebody funded for some terrorists to come over here? If the border is wide open? You don't think it's terrorists already over here that's plotting and planning? We don't know what these motherfuckers might do. And then some of the people that you know terrorists, that you know what they terrorists, but you don't know where the hell they at. How the hell you not going to know where people on the terrorist watch list is at? Them motherfuckers showing the hell can't buy a ghost gun. Huh? We don't know what, and the DOJ and the Justice Department say somebody finna hit in less than 12 to 18 months. In the next year. They gather intelligence that it's finna be something in the next year. We don't know where, we don't know how, and we damn sure don't know who. Just hope that it ain't you.
That they're on the terror watch list.
42 illegal immigrants were encountered at our border are on the terrorist and no-fly list. Are any of them still in our country?
So the DHS secretary is now talking about people on the terrorist watch list crossing the border into the U.S., and he says, we know where those 42 are.
Look, I'm not surprised. I mean, I've been saying all year long, when you open the border to illegal immigration like the Biden administration does, half the Border Patrol is no longer patrolling the line. They're processing family groups in facilities.
His time has expired.
This is an important question for this committee. Are any of them still in our country?
Any of them still in our country, right? This is an important question. Is any terrorist in our country? Then you wouldn't have motherfucking terrorists. Is one of them terrorists, right? I want to know is this, right? Is one of them terrorists that you was watching, them 42, right? Was one of them the one that tried to do the assassination of George Bush? Was he on the terrorist list? Right? He came in here in what, 2020 or something like that, 2021? Was he on the terrorist list? Huh? I mean, the only reason you probably caught him because you had a FBI agent rolling with him. That was reporting and recording everything he done. He thought he had an ally. How many terrorists ain't partners with an FBI agent or riding around with an FBI agent pretending he Allah Akbar or Muhammad Ali, right? And is a real terrorist, right? Because first of all, right, terrorists and plans like that, they don't happen overnight. They don't happen in a week, in a month. That shit take time and planning and financing and all kind of shit. Right? They gotta look. You gotta come up with a blueprint to get funding. You know what I'm saying? You like the dude. He was coming up with a blueprint just to get funding to get the guns and the mapping and all of those shit. Right? Like, hey man, this is my blueprint. Right? Can I get my funding? Like, hell no. You gotta come with some more shit. You know what I'm saying? Before we send you some money and some Allah Akbars and some more Muhammad Ali's, huh? You got to come up with something better than that. The people came up with the 9/11, like, you know what? That is genius. How long that's going to take? Oh, we're going to pay for this. We're going to pay for that. We're going to pay for all that shit. Didn't they say one of the people that was involved in the plane crash is in jail? Was the nigga in the plane? Like, when the plane crashed? How niggas going to jail for the plane crash and going to court? Right, for the plane crash. Ain't the nigga supposed to be in the motherfucking plane? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe did it have something to do with the planning and the plotting? Because I'm like, I thought all the 19 terrorists exploded in the plane. What motherfuckers going to court for? What Muhammad Ali going to court for? What he done? He was involved in the bombing and all this other shit. Like, for real? I didn't know that. I thought the niggas was dead. My bad. I thought all them niggas died. I thought all the niggas Allah Akbar out this motherfucker.
I will deliver to you a response with respect
to... No. That's a simple question. Are terrorists, people on the terrorist watch list, no-fly list, are they still in the United States that you've encountered on the border?
Why isn't he saying, we know where those 42 are. They're in jail.
Congressman, some of them may be still in detention.
Some of them may still be in detention. Well, some of them may be out, right? Right? This is why you got, right, motherfuckers plotting and planning, right? And just think about this. Everybody, right, that's important in the world don't have the ability to have an FBI agent roll around with a motherfucking terrorist, right, recording their every move, right? We don't have that. We got the local police. And they're not looking for no terrorists. So when some shit happen at the mall or some shit happen, right, when they playing or the school or some shit like that, right, it's not, it's not, I mean, it's going to happen. The DOJ said it's going to happen, right? It's not by accident. It's not by, like, this shit was already planned. This shit was already in the works. Everybody don't have that ability to have that type of protection. The average motherfucker, family that's fit to walk through the mall when this shit happened didn't have that protection, right, to know that the terrorist was going to the mall. You knew that the terrorist was going to Bush House. These motherfuckers not knowing the terrorist was going to the mall or to the park or to the school or to the church or to the hamburger stand or to the grocery store. Right? You think anybody was going to church that day or going to the grocery store that day or going to school that day thought a maniac was going to come through the motherfucking door and shoot somebody? Anybody going to the club that day, right? We don't know who. It's always like we don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be us. It's going to be somebody close to us, right? Because it's going to be somebody. And it's always going to be somebody family member. It's going to be somebody's mother. It's going to be somebody's wife, somebody's daughter, somebody's son, right? Brother, sister, it's going to be somebody, something. Somebody going to love that person. Somebody going to miss that person, right? But it's going to be somebody, somewhere, some city. No, nobody ever heard of Euclid, Texas. Nobody ever heard of that. Now it's the number one thing, the number one city on the news, but nobody even heard of that small town before this happened. Did you think for 1 second they thought it was going to happen in a small town, going to school that day? Hell to the no. So you let these terrorists over here, right? And look what happened. But America is not concentrating on the terrorists that trying to kill Americans, or they're not worried about the terrorists that's trying to kill presidents, right? They're not worried about the terrorists being caught at the border or not being caught at the border, right? They're not even doing nothing to stop them terrorists. They're not putting in no kind of safety, no kind of regulations, or no kind of legal shit, right? Right? Like Peter Ducey say, some of these so-called people on the terrorist list is not even locked up or not even being monitored, right? But you know who they are for the monitor? The white supremacists, the MAGA supporters. That's where all the money going to. They more of a threat to America, the white supremacists, than the terrorists, right? So all American money is going to go to homegrown domestic terrorists and not foreign terrorists. They coming after your ass.
Well, Peter, I would really point you to the Department of Homeland Security to get more follow-up details on his comment.
So when half the Border Patrol is not on the line, that's when the fentanyl comes through that killed over 100,000 people this year. And that's when criminals and gang members come across. And certainly, I've said all along, that is vulnerable to terrorists coming across that country. Border Patrol has already arrested over 15 on the FBI screening database.
So I will.
Have any of them been released? Have any of them been released?
Time has expired.
This is critical for the. You got 42. Have they been released? Will the gentleman answer that question?
Congressman, I will provide you with.
Thank you,
They
Madam
may have been released.
I know he's spoken extensively at a range of hearings and obviously on a range of Sunday shows yesterday, including on Fox, I believe.
We want to know if people on the terrorist watch list, have any of them been released? And he won't answer that question.
It is, Mr. Jordan, it is my time.
But this is about people.
It is my time.
That's a pretty important question.
Oh yeah, especially when somebody that tried to assassinate a damn president, was he on the terrorist watch list? Right? Is it now 41? Or is it still 42? Huh? What list was he on? Why ain't nobody talking, was this dude on the terrorist? Why ain't nobody asking that question? You said you got terrorists on the terrorist watch list. Was this dude on one of the 42? If he not, what terrorist list? You got a separate terrorist list that you got that we need to be aware of? Because if you see something, say something. Right? What other terrorists we need to be aware of? Huh? Somebody question? I would ask that question. Like, what terrorist list was he on? The dude got caught by the Secret Service or whatever. What terrorist list was he on? Who was watching him? Is there others like him? Right? And you can't say, oh, well, I don't want to talk about that. No, bitch, hell yes, others like him. We got to watch on all them motherfuckers. We got 55 cases out right now with FBI. I put it out there, even if it wasn't, that'll scare the shit out of the terrorists. That'll make them be like, damn, one of you sons of bitches a snitch. I just heard Jen Psaki say it's 75 Secret Service working with terrorists. I know one of you motherfuckers up here is a snitch. Put him on blast.
What is the president's priority? Would it be stopping potential terrorist attacks or letting these migrants come in?
So out of the 600,000 that they didn't catch, the gotaways this year, 600,000, how many of them were known as suspected terrorists? Because terrorists don't turn themselves over to the Border Patrol. They're trying to get away.
Hell yeah, I don't know no terrorists coming over like, you know what? I'm going to turn myself in and tell them I'm from Afghanistan. we're gonna come in, all 19 of us, right? All 19 of us, we're gonna turn ourselves in, we're gonna say we're from Afghanistan, right? We're gonna blend in with the Cubans and the Venezuelans, right? You're like, hold on. You got a group of Haitians over here. The Haitians, you get over here. It's 55 Haitians in this pack right here. Okay, you got the Hispanics over here. You know what I'm saying? It's 134 Hispanics. You go over there, right? Venezuelans right here. You 35. Cuban 35. Afghanistan's 28. What the fuck? At once? Like, you motherfuckers, at once? Wait a minute, you want us to let 28 motherfucking Afghanistans over here at once? Nigga, never. You turn yourself in. And all you motherfuckers got turbans and backpacks on. You know what? This is not gonna work. 28. We're not letting 28. We're not letting 3 of you motherfuckers in at one time. 28? Nah. You know what? Turn these motherfuckers back around, right? Before we arrest your ass. You know what? Matter of fact, we don't have the ability to arrest you, but we do have the ability to shoot your motherfucker. You can't do that.
Well, again, I think as we noted just a couple of weeks ago when there was reporting about the number of individuals who are on the watch list being stopped at the border, that was the Border Patrol doing their jobs.
That's the scary thing. How many of the 600,000 people enter this country to do us harm?
That was the system working. And certainly part of the role of the Department of Homeland Security is to keep our country safe, keep the American people safe. And I think that's an indication of Secretary Mayorkas's work to do.
It wasn't all them terrorists coming over here on Donald Trump watch. That was because Donald Trump was doing his damn job, right? It wasn't no damn 42 people on a terrorist watch, right? Released into the damn country, and then nobody know where the hell they was at, huh? Right? They wasn't coming over here.
Exactly that.
But so if it takes 19 people to carry out the September 11th attacks, what do you guys think 42 people on a terrorist watch list might be capable of?
Again, Peter, the number one job of the President of the United States, the Vice President, and certainly the Secretary of Homeland Security is to keep the American people safe. And I think a lot of this reporting you're referencing is an indication that they're doing their jobs and doing exactly that.
That were 42 terrorists caught at the border, because that means, look, that means what is the percentage of terrorists getting caught, right? Are you 100%, right, with terrorists getting caught at the border? Are you 75% accurate with terrorists getting caught at the border? 50%? Like, what is the percentage of accuracy, right? And that's probably an unknown number, unknown variable, because they had nothing to compare it to. They got 42 compared to what? Right? What are they comparing the 42 they caught to? We just caught 42. Compared to what? What does that compare to? Compare that to the how many people that got away. Compare that to what? What is we comparing that number to? We comparing that number to an unknown entity. You know, we don't know, because we don't know how many gotaways it was. Right? So if it's 1 million gotaways, right, we comparing 42 to 1 million. Right? If it's 2 million, 3 million, right? Gotaways that came up here that undetected. We were comparing that 42 people, terrorists, to 3 million. What's the percentage in that? Right? That's a high-ass percentage and a low-ass number.
Most of you know that I opposed this war from the start. I thought it was a tragic mistake.
You had supported the war in Iraq.
Look, even though Donald Trump, right, didn't support the war, right, fake news got up in here and said, oh, you supported the war in Iraq. Donald Trump like, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. The news report like, no, I didn't. I never supported no damn war. I always said that shit was stupid. I got old clips saying it was stupid. But fake news lied so fucking much, right? They put him on national TV and made him and try to make him a liar when them motherfuckers was a liar. Huh? Lying sons of bitches.
The war in Iraq before the invasion. What makes your
I did not support the war in Iraq.
2002.
That is a mainstream media nonsense put out by her, because she, frankly, I think the best person in her campaign is mainstream media.
America, it is time to start bringing our troops home. It's time.
Question is, since you
would you like to hear?
Why is your
I was against the war.
judgment-
Wait a minute. I was against the war in Iraq. Just so you put it out.
The record shows otherwise.
The record
but why
does not show that.
Why is your
The
judgment
record shows that I.
Say the record shows otherwise. What record is you listening to, right? Like the record, he never denounced white supremacy, right? He denounced it on air, right? Before he was even elected president, like 58 times. They got it on the video, right? But they said, oh, you never denounced white supremacy. Said it on the 2020 debate, right? He denounced the motherfuckers in 2016 debate, right? He denounced them before David Duke, before he was even thinking about running for president, right? He been denouncing them, right? But they get him on national TV. You never denounced the white supremacy. You never done this. You like what? I've been doing it, right? Just like he got on here. You always supported the war. Who? I never supported it. Stop fucking lying. Me and Barack Obama agree.
It's time to admit that no amount of American lives can resolve the political disagreement that lies at the heart of someone else's civil war.
When I did an interview with Howard Stern, very lightly, first time anyone's asked me that, I said, very lightly, I don't know, maybe, who knows, essentially. I then did an interview with Neil Cavuto. We talked about the economy is more important. I then spoke to Sean Hannity, which everybody refuses to call Sean Hannity. I had numerous conversations with Sean Hannity at Fox.
That's why I have a plan that will bring our combat troops home by March of 2008.
And Sean Hannity said, and he called me the other day, and I spoke to him about it. He said you were totally against war because he was for the war.
Why is your judgment better than...
And that was before the war started. Sean Hannity said very strongly to me and other people, he's willing to say, but nobody wants to call him, I was against...
Look at Hillary, stupid ass over there with that stupid look on her face.
The war. He said, you used to have fights with me because...
Let the Iraqis know. Letting the Iraqis know that we will not be there forever is our last best hope to pressure the Sunni and Shia to come.
And I understand that side also, not very much because we should have never been there. But nobody called Sean Hannity. And then they did an article in a major magazine shortly after the war started, I think in 2004, but they did an article which had me totally against the war in Iraq. And one of your compatriots said, you know, whether it was before or right after, Trump was definitely, because if you read this article, there's no doubt.
Huh? You hear Barack talking about, right? You hear Barack talking about, I pulled out, we need to pull out of Afghanistan. You hear him talking about this shit, right? Because Barack Obama finna deny all this shit, right? He finna deny everything he said about Iraq. Watch this. He gonna deny everything in the interview. Lying son of a bitch.
To the table and find peace. And there's one other thing that it's not too late to get right about this war, and that is the homecoming of the men and women.
But if somebody, and I'll ask the press, if somebody would call up Sean Hannity, this was before the war started, he and I used to have arguments about the war. I said it's a terrible and a stupid thing. It's going to destabilize the Middle East, and that's exactly what it's done. It's been a disaster.
My reference was to what you had said in 2002, and my question was, why is your judgment?
He said he was against the war before Barack Obama was against the war in 2002. Stupid, huh? They lying. That press got it wrong. You got your sources all fucked up. Well, I was saying in 2002. No, he said in 2002 too, stupid, before Barack Obama.
Judgment any different than Mrs. Clinton?
Well, I have much better judgment than she does. There's no question about that.
Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is among the officials speaking out in the wake of Saturday's mass shooting in Buffalo. He said...
Right? Like I said, they going after... The terrorists that supposedly be homegrown, not the terrorists that's from Iraq, Afghanistan, and all these other terrorist countries, right? They're not going after them. Their major concern and they major funding is homegrown terrorists.
In a statement that, quote, the Department of Homeland Security continues to work closely with our partners across the country to combat violent extremism, including racially or ethnically motivated violent extremism, which continues to pose one of the most significant terrorism-related threats to the homeland.
Okay. Now, if this is the Buffalo shooting, okay, right? This is the Buffalo shooting, right? And it's crazy how they talk about the Buffalo shooting, right? And if you saw my old video, when the video first came out, right, I said if this dude was a white supremacist, they got to tie him to a group. He got to be connected to some other people that share his ideology, right? He got to be And why was he alone? If he was white supremacists on certain things like that don't really act alone, right? You know, and they're gonna find out some other things about him. They're not gonna find out no white supremacy. They're gonna tie it to white supremacists, right? And they're gonna say his ideologies and all that shit is white supremacists, but they can't find any connection. They're not gonna find any connection to white supremacy, right? So now they're trying to switch it up and say, well, he was a lone wolf, right? And when white supremacists put these ideas out to society, people like this latch on to him. So it's really no difference if he from a white supremacy group or not. He's still getting white supremacy ideas. What? Now it's got to where even if you're not a white supremacist, we still got to stop the white supremacists from spreading hate and stuff like that, because people like this may get ideas from their speeches and go out and act. So now you don't got to be a white supremacist to be called a white supremacist. You know what I'm saying? You just got to have white supremacist ideas.
We are devoting every available resource to combat all forms of terrorism and targeted violence to keep our communities safe and secure.
For the first time, our Department of Homeland Security identified domestic violent extremism as a national priority area.
A national priority area, right? A national priority. I don't even know what the fuck that means, but I guess they made it up and it sounds really scary and really important. National. Ooh, nationals. Right? I mean, the whole is really deep, right? But like they say, this Buffalo's shooter was a lone shooter, lone wolf.
Accused of killing 10 people and shooting 3 others this past weekend, has been called a lone wolf who drove from hours away. But some researchers say that description could be misleading.
It could be misleading. He's a lone wolf, and he acted by himself, came up with his own ideas about anything he may have come up with ideas from. Like, it may came up with maybe immigration on his own, or black people, hate for black people on his own. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's plenty of things to hate niggas about. It's some things I hate niggas about. You know what I'm saying? So you can't blame it all on that, right? But I'm not finna go out and do no crazy shit like he done, right? It's a certain way to channel your energy, right? And if you got racist thoughts, you know what I'm saying, sometimes it's best to keep them motherfuckers to yourself, right? Because you don't want to get into a predicament where you harm other people and then harm yourself by going to jail and getting yourself killed. But that is some people aim, you know, and some people have fucked up thoughts, right? I mean, Christians kill people out of the name of Christianity all the time. You feel me? So it's going to happen, you know what I'm saying? We just try to minimize it, right? And try to keep people safe, right? Because somebody's always going to have these sick thoughts. They've been having them since the beginning of time, right? Somebody always going to have these sick thoughts, right? We got to be prepared, you know what I'm saying, for when the next person had these sick thoughts come around. Because best prepared. Whoever got a sick thought and want to do some sick shit is going to do some planning, right? And maybe from 18-year-old to 15-year-old to 19-year-old, whoever it was, had to do some planning, right? Even if they was going to go to school like on that day, like the dude who recently shot the school students. He went to that school, right? He already planned it and everything, right? He knew the doors probably going to be unlocked, and he probably knew how vulnerable the school was without no security. He knew all of that. He probably didn't put no hell of a plan in, like a escape plan and all that, but he put some type of planning into that. He went and bought the weapons and bought the guns and it was planning, right? The dude in Buffalo, it was planning, right? So it's planning in these things. So if we can understand that if somebody's planning to do something, they're going to plan to do something when somebody or something is most vulnerable, right? Like the dude who shot the concert in Vegas. He knew the people at the concert was going to be vulnerable, right? He knew they were probably going to be unarmed, right? He probably knew about the security. He probably knew about angles. He probably knew about weaponry. He probably knew about exit He probably knew about entries. He probably knew about everything. You know about everything. The dude at the gay club, I'm pretty sure that wasn't his first time going to the gay club. He knew about the doors. He knew about security. He knew about everything. Right? So the next event that somebody may be at, right? You may be at a hamburger stand or a restaurant, right? And you may think you just going to a hamburger stand or a restaurant or a grocery store or to work or anything like that. Or you may be on the bus or public transportation or amusement park or anything, you know. And then you have this dude who been planning on that spot and you just happen to be there at that time. And it's this, I mean, chance and opportunity.
We are spreading information out to our state, local, tribal, territorial partners, our frontline personnel in every community across this country.
In every community across this country, we spreading white supremacy notification alerts, right? If you see something, say something. In every community, well, you ain't spreading that shit in my community because we ain't got white people over here, huh? If it's white people over here, they asses get discriminated against, right? It's black supremacy over here, Mexican supremacy, and brown supremacy over this motherfucker, right? Ain't no white supremacy over this summer bitch, right? So you don't need to bring no templates over here. You don't need to drop nothing off. You don't need to spread no awareness because that shit ain't happening on this block or this city or in this town. That shit happened on the outskirts some damn where in other communities, but not in this one. So spread, but how you gonna spread it in them communities and ain't no niggas in them communities? How you gonna spread white racism awareness in white racism awareness neighborhoods? That shit ain't gonna work. Like, we want to hit you with some white supremacy pamphlets. If you see something, say something. Like, if you don't get this shit out of my face, I am the white supremacist, motherfucker. You don't see the damn flag on my house? You don't see the tattoos and shit? You don't see the haircut? You stupid son of a bitch, get out of here before we hang your dumb ass. There ain't no niggas on here. There ain't no niggas on here. It's motorcycles and mobile homes on every damn block. You see a motorcycle and a mobile home in the front yard. Ain't no niggas got no motorcycles and no mobile homes. Huh? That's white boy shit.
So they understand the threat landscape and can respond appropriately.
Madison Carter explains why they say that there are still lingering threats of white supremacy here in Western New York.
We are dedicating grant funds to fight domestic violent extremism.
They offering grants. Like, I want a grant. Like, you know what? I want to be a white supremacist officer. If you're going to fight it, you might as well have some police white supremacists. I'm going to go out and fight white supremacists. I got my own costume and shit. Unracist man or some shit like, what I don't call myself, black equalizer or some shit like that. We got to come up with some dumbass equality name. Black Kaepernick or some shit like that. You know, I'll go down when niggas commit crimes and kneel and put a fist up. Like, brother, don't do it, brother. Don't do it. Let's stick together, brother. Fight against the man. Let's do it, brother. Huh? We're going to grants for who? To study white supremacy? We need that grant to study white supremacy. And we're going to give you an answer on this. Like, we want to know why white men act like this. Okay, we're going to get a grant for that. Give us a grant for that. They developing a whole new department to get grants. You going to give grants to for what? Grants are for studies. You going to give funding? Funding for what? Funding is for basically how you say this, awareness. You fund shit because you want to make shit, you want people to be aware of stuff. What kind of shit is this?
The connection between ideologies of hate, false narratives, and acts of violence.
We consider a lone wolf attack somebody who commits a crime without kind of the organized support of an organization.
Organized support of an organization, right? That nigga didn't have no organized support, right? He came up with them ideas. He can come up with them ideas all by himself. It doesn't take, you don't have to listen to no white supremacists to come up with no fucking hateful ideas. You can watch BET. You can listen to rap music. You can have a nigga hit you upside the head and beat your ass or have sex with your girl or you don't like the way a nigga dress. I mean, you develop hate different ways. The mind is a fucked up thing. You don't need to listen to no white supremacist group to develop hate for no black people. It's niggas who is people who ain't never been around no white supremacist group that don't like niggas. Believe me.
We set up the Center for Prevention Programs in partnership to resource, equip, and empower local communities.
This nigga resource, equip, and empower local communities. You see how deep they go in? They say every community, local communities, every community. They really going deep with this white supremacy shit.
But from an ideology perspective, this is not a single person.
You know, so often it is the family member, the neighbor, the teacher, the faith leader who sees someone descending downward into a path of violence.
Now, that is true, right? It's the family member that sees, right, someone going down the path of violence, like holding up a bag of cats and burying dogs and all that shit, right? It's the family member that hear the threats at the house. You know, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to shoot up this and I'm going to shoot up that. It's the family member that sees all that. So he's absolutely right by that, right? He's absolutely right. I give him credit for that, right? I give him credit for bringing that out because if you see your family member, he say this, you should turn his ass in. So I give him credit for that. But what I don't give him credit for is right after that, he said violent and all this old shit, but he didn't say because of mental problems or any other thing. He said because of white supremacist ideology. So fuck all the other shit. Only if you see white supremacy in your kid, tell them out, snitch them out. Hate and all this old shit, hate and violence, because they share an ideology of white supremacy. Other than that, don't turn them in. What kind of shit?
Because of an ideology that they have gripped.
This is a person parroting ideology that's shared by dozens, if not hundreds, of people in the Western New York area.
Michael is part of a group of researchers that have been tracking extremism in and around Western New York for years.
And we need those individuals to know whom to call, whom to contact, to reach out to local law enforcement before it's too late.
The shooter wasn't from this community, but a growing theory called stochastic terrorism suggests shared thoughts can be just as dangerous as an organized network.
Shared thoughts, right? So now you ain't gotta have a white supremacist, right? You just gotta have shared thoughts. These motherfuckers good, I tell you.
To help that individual and to really protect and safeguard the community.
It's the idea that once you put out enough ideology, once you put out enough rhetoric, it's just a matter of time before someone is going to do something.
President, do you have any...
Look, it's just a matter of time before before somebody do something, right? Before one of these motherfuckers go crazy and get to shoot up something because they share ideologies, right? Well, niggas share ideologies all day. You think some of these niggas shooting up blocks and corners and gangs and kids and shit like that don't share the same ideology about gangs and gangsters and thugging and all this old shit, right? Ideology, they share the same thought. You can't stop motherfuckers from sharing thoughts, right? It's people who share positive thoughts, right? People share thoughts all the time, right? Somebody can take what them with the negative speech and use that as a teaching lesson, as a learning lesson, as a learning tool, right? It's other ways to look at this shit, right? But if you all to see how people express themselves and see what people are facing and how evil and low down and hateful people can be, you're supposed to use that as a learning lesson, because it always has to be the opposite of anything for something to exist. You can't wipe out racism. You can't wipe out hate, because if you wipe out racism, if you wipe out hate, you gotta wipe out love, right? Because hate can't exist without fucking love. You gotta have the opposite, right? God made look. It's a human emotion to hate. It's a human emotion. God gave you that ability. That's part of the ability you have as a human being. That's part of the emotion, right? I mean, you're supposed to use hate not in a negative way, right? Hate can motivate. You can hate that a motherfucker got more money than you and go out there and get you a better job, or go out there and get you a better education. You can hate where you live at and boss up and move up the fuck up out to save your money. You can hate what you drive, right? And boss up and do what you need to do to get you another car. You know what I'm saying? But you can hate who you with and leave her and go get you somebody better. You can hate that people bullying you at school and hit the motherfucking books and be somebody and hire them motherfuckers to wash your car. Right? You always can turn hate into love if you use it right. But if you don't and you use hate to fight hate, then you come up with, when motherfuckers pick on you, you don't come up with the same ideology. Well, let me get my shit together so this shit won't happen to me. It's no, I don't want people to pick on me, so I'm finna do this. I'm tired of this, so I'm finna do that. I'm finna end it all. I'm finna do this. I'm finna do that. People take it the wrong way, but you use hate the right way, you can benefit from it. You can benefit. But these people using hate, right? And they trying to use hate to separate people. Right? Everything is hate. Right? But Barack Obama finna lie. Barack Obama, on his last part right here, he said he had nothing to do with the Iraqi war. I didn't have nothing to do with the Iraqi war. I didn't have shit to do with it. That wasn't me. You lying, son of a bitch. I didn't have nothing to do with it. Watch Barack Obama lie right in your damn face. Watch this time.
President, do you have any second thoughts about pulling all ground troops out of Iraq? And does it give you pause as the US,
wait a minute.
It's possible is doing the same thing in Afghanistan?
4 years ago, I promised to end the war in Iraq.
4 years ago, Sharon Goldman, thank you for the donation. Sharon just sent me a donation on PayPal. What Sharon say? Hey, Lionel, keep kicking ass and exposing the commies and traitors. You damn right, these sons of bitches are traitors. Especially Barack Obama talking about, I didn't, what the nigga say? I didn't start no Iraqi war. I didn't know nothing about no Iraqi war. I didn't do nothing about that. It wasn't me. They asked him right in his face. Sharon Goldman, you hear that, Sharon? He finna lie right in your face, Sharon. Watch this. Barack Obama lying right in your face, Sharon.
Second thoughts about pulling all ground troops out of Iraq, and does it give you pause as the U.S. It's possible is doing the same thing in Afghanistan?
4 years ago, I promised to end the war in Iraq. We did.
Yeah, that entire analysis is bogus.
4 years ago, I promised to end the war in Iraq. I did.
And is wrong.
4 years ago, I promised to end the war in Iraq, and I did.
But gets frequently peddled around here by folks who oftentimes are trying to defend previous policies that they themselves made. You know what?
Nigga, then he trying to blame it on George Bush, just like Joe Biden do. The prior administration. No, nigga, you put him out of Iraq, nigga. You did.
What I just find interesting is the degree to which this issue keeps on coming up.
I told you we'd end the war in Iraq. We did.
As if this was my decision.
I said we'd end the Iraq war. We did.
Under the previous administration, we had turned over the country to a sovereign, democratically elected Iraqi government.
I told you I'd end the war in Iraq, and we did.
In part because Iraqis were tired of a U.S. occupation, and on that basis we left. We had offered to leave additional troops.
I ended the war in Iraq as I promised.
So when you hear people say, do you regret, Mr. President, not leaving more troops? That presupposes that I would have overridden this sovereign government, that we had turned the keys back over to, and said, you know what, you're democratic, you're sovereign, except if I decide that it's good for you to keep 10,000 or 15,000 or 25,000 Marines in your country, you don't have a choice.
In 2008, I promised we'd end the war in Iraq. We've ended.
Which would have kind of run contrary to the entire argument we were making about turning over the country back to Iraqis. An argument not just made by me, but made by the previous administration.
Hear that, Peter? Not by me, made by the previous administration. It's always the previous administration with you sons of bitches. It's always the previous administration fault. Well, Donald Trump cleaned up the previous administration fault, right? He didn't blame it. He just pointed this shit out and said, I cleaned that shit up. I done that. He done this, well, I done that. I cleaned that shit up from the past administration. Now, well, because the past administration, we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that. We stuck here, we stuck there. Donald Trump done that shit. That's the difference between Donald Trump and him. I don't know who told you that. Why y'all keep talking about that? I didn't pull out of Iraq. I didn't do that shit. Who told you that? Huh? Because you were finna pull out of Afghanistan the same motherfucking way, nigga. Huh? That's why they asking you, did you pull out of did you regret pulling out of Iraq, and did you finna pull out of Afghanistan the same fucking way and leave that country fucked up? That's why they asked that, nigga.
I was able to keep my promise and end the war in Iraq.
So let's just be clear. The reason that we did not have a follow-on force in Iraq was because a majority of Iraqis did not want U.S. troops there. And politically, they could not pass the kind of laws that would be required to protect our troops in Iraq.
In 2008, I promised we would end the war in Iraq, and we've ended it. The war in Iraq is over. The war in Iraq is over from ending the war in Iraq. That's why I ended the war in Iraq. For the first time in 9 years, there are no Americans fighting in Iraq.
Going forward with respect to Afghanistan, we are leaving the follow-on force there. I think the lesson for Afghanistan is coming out of Iraq.
Why Joe Biden didn't learn that fucking lesson, right? If Barack Obama learned that lesson when he was president, and Joe Biden was vice president, right? And they learned the lesson from Iraq about how to leave Afghanistan. Why in the fuck did Joe Biden leave Afghanistan so fucked up? Think about it. Terrorists coming over here right now, right? We just left a whole country of terrorists mad with no kind of intelligence on the ground to know what the fuck they up to. Joe Biden had already knew how the best way to leave Afghanistan, right? And how to leave it and when to leave it, because how he had left Iraq. Because guess what? Barack Obama just said we learned the lesson from Iraq, and this is how we're going to do Afghanistan. Joe left weapons over there, intelligence, helicopter, fucking dogs, drones, tanks, night vision goggles. What did Joe Biden learn from the Iraqi war? What did he learn from the early on from withdrawing? He left this country more fucked up with his decisions. We more fucked up. We more at war with other countries. We finna go. It's finna be they saying it's finna be a terrorist attack. Be prepared. Who knows where that shit gonna be at? Who knows there's gonna be a terrorist attack in San Bernardino, California? That's 40 miles away from my motherfucking house. A terrorist hit. Think about it.
If you want this thing to work, whether it's different ethnicities, different religions, different regions, they've got to accommodate each other. Otherwise, you start tipping back into old patterns of violence, and it doesn't matter how many U.S. troops are there. If that happens, you end up having a mess.
And that's what we got. A hot damn mess. Right? Now think about this. You had a president that lied about war and went to war. You had a president that pulled out of war too early and didn't know how to stabilize a war, right? And hopped in another war, didn't finish the war, right? You had Donald Trump come in, finish the war, killed the ISIS caliphate, got Middle Eastern countries to talk, got us safe with China, Russia, North Korea, right? We wasn't waiting. DOJ wasn't warning us about in 12 months if it'd be a terrorist attack. They wasn't catching 42 terrorists on the border. It wasn't over 2 million Mexicans being detained, right? Gas wasn't. I mean, I ain't even talking about the gas. I'm just talking about the humanitarian shit. Crime wasn't this high, right? We didn't have this many shortages of baby milk, right? All this in what, 16, 17 months? And what we got another, what, damn near 2.5 years ago? I put up, look, hold on. I'm finna show you a video right now. Hold on. I put this on my YouTube, right? I'm finna show you a video before I get up out of here, right? How high gas is and how high gas is out here, right? Before I get up out of here, I'm finna show how high gas is, right? I went to a gas station last night, right? And before I get up out of here, this is how Joe Biden. Oh wait. I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna go back here. Go next. This is how Joe Biden. Matter of fact, I'm gonna leave. This is how Joe Biden is fucking up. Joe Biden is fucking up the country. I'm finna put the gas prices up on here right before I get up out of here. I'm finna put the gas price up in here. All right, before we get up out here, and you tell me how a motherfucker gonna live in LA. And all right, this is why I do so many. I'm scared to travel. You know what I'm saying? I am scared to fucking travel. Right? Let me see. Right here. Let me show you why I'm scared to travel. Look at this shit right here. Look at this shit right here. And this is in LA, y'all. Okay, we go right here. Let me see. Wait, it's loading. It's loading. Well, watch this shit, right? And you wonder why I be asking for donations. I be like, hit your boy up with a donation because I can't go nowhere. I be stuck in the damn house. We be stuck in this damn house because it's too damn high. The life is too damn high in LA. Here we go, right here. Look at this shit. God damn it. Not no damn triple digit. Look at this. $9.19 for diesel. You better not come to this son of a bitch and fill up no gas. You better run out of gas trying to go get some gas. Look at it. 809, 807, 805. You might as well get 809. What's the difference between 809 and 805? 4 cents. You might as well go all the way out. You won't spend this motherfucking much money on some damn gas. Fuck the food. This shit is crazy. This got to be the highest gas station in the world, Craig. I'm kidding, one. This got to be the highest gas station in the world, Craig. Right here. Hands down. Highest gas station in the world. Did you see that? Do you see them? This is 5 minutes away from my house, right? This is by something they call Union Station, LA, right? Where right here it is probably the closest. This is probably the closest gas station in probably like a 3-mile radius, right? You got Union Station over here, right? This is where all the buses go, the trains and stuff like that, you know, and people catch the bus go to Dodger games and go to the airport and stuff like that. You know, they got a little lofts over here and stuff like that. They got, on the other side, they got factories and the county jail over there, right? The county jail is like 5 minutes walking distance from there. The county jail, and all kind of stuff over there, right? So it's not really nothing. Then you got you got bridges and freeways and stuff on the other side, you know, and you got factories and trains and stuff like that. So there's really no other gas station over there. So he's the only gas station in town right there, you know. And really don't nobody go to that son of a bitch unless you desperate for gas and you feel hop on that freeway and you really desperate and you're like, woo, right? And you ain't got nowhere else to go because it's the only gas station you go here. Other than that, you be like, woo. Every time I pass this son of a bitch down every day, be like, woo. But this is this is the highest, but in certain places like $7.39, right? Right now, the cheapest I got some gas today was $6.29. I found another spot that was $5.99, right? And I found another spot that was $2, right? I found $2 gas. It was at Taco Bell. It was a Mexican burrito for $2. I like, ooh, you know, $2 gas. If you want $2 gas, take your ass to Taco Bell because that's the only gas you're going to get for $2 now. $4 or anything like that. If you get gas for $4, you're going to get you 2 bean burritos, huh? That's how bad it is in LA right now, right? So, and think about this, right? I have to put, like this to go regular places, right? I have to put at least $20 of gas in my car just to go a regular place. $20. All you getting for $20 is 3 gallons of gas. Think about it. For $20, you're getting 3 gallons of gas and some change. Because every place you go to gonna at least be $6. At least $6. Right? So now it's like, where in the fuck can I go, right, and travel if I gotta put $20 worth of gas in my car just to go there and back? Just to go anywhere and back, you get $20. I don't get donations like that where I could put $20 in my car just to, right? Say I want to get a haircut or go over my brother's house or, go to a club or even go promote or, sometimes I like to go promote or, shit like that, right? I go out and go to a neighborhood like LA where I got to promote and pass out flyers, because most of the time I be walking anyway, right? I can imagine if I was driving, passing out my little flyers and cars and stuff like that, but if I go to one of the spots that I pass out my cars at, or pass out my business cards or stuff like that, or, maybe I go out and hang out and sell some shirts or something like that, I have to put at least $20 of gas in my car just to get there and back. Don't let nobody call me and let me go to another spot. I mean, that's another $10, right? So imagine if I was to go just a simple place every day. That's what, $140 a week? What, $280, $500 a month, right? Just to go, if I wanted to go promote and back. Right? Not making no money. Right? I mean, if I want to go to a club, that's $20 off the bat. If I want to go to a club perform, like I got to go to a club perform tomorrow, that's $20 going to the club and back. Right? Some clubs don't, you mainly go to the club for the experience, you know what I'm saying? So clubs don't really pay you, $50, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. Or $25 in a chicken dinner or some shit like that, right? Or a drink and 2 shots and some gas money. They don't really pay you unless you big time. And that's why mostly I do my own shows. But just to go and try to promote or go and, try to get my name out, it costs the drive. And like I said, this is murder right here. But $1 less is still fucking high. Cause $20 what? 18. That's what $18 is what basically $19 is. You got to do the change. Yeah, that's $20. You're getting three gallons of gas. That's unbelievable, and it's going up every single fucking day. Every single day. As an entrepreneur, how can you promote? How can you maneuver? You know what I'm saying? How can you, like, and then food going up, right? You like, damn. It's making you, right? Because even if you, right, like say I wanted to go out and try to promote myself, right? Like this, try to promote myself, right? It's going to cost me extra money that I don't really have. So now it's like you stuck between a rock and a hard spot because you have to promote your comedy as a comedian, right? Because you gotta let people know, hey, I got a club, I do here, I'm got a YouTube page, I do comedy. Hey, you want to invite me to a party? I do shows. You gotta network as a comedian, right? So the gas is killing my ability to network. It's killing my ability. It's killing my ability to grow. You know, it's killing because now it's to the point where I want to make new videos and go new places and film this and film that and bring it to the YouTube thing. But like if I go out and film this and film that, go out and get a photographer, go out and get my friend Bobby, hey, let's go out and film this and film that, I'm going to spend $50 at least filming. So now it's like it comes to the point where I can't even add extra content that I wanted to go hit the street. You know what I'm saying? I had I filmed a lot of videos, but I wanted to put like a different talking to the homeless, talking to regular people on the street. I got a lot of videos still stored, but it's not the content I want. I want and it's pieces that I'm missing to make it into a skit. You know, it could be like a long documentary, but I have to put that on hold, right? And it's getting to the point where like. And if things get worse, what more do you got to put on hold? You know, in some states, right? In some states, I mean, I'll be just on gas alone. I'd be doing a whole lot better if I was paying $4 for gas. Like in some states out here, it's $4 a gas. I'd be winning. I can be saving $2. You know, $4 wasn't really hurting me. You know what I'm saying? But $7 is. That's double. That's double what we was paying. So right now, double what you paying on every fucking thing. That's inflation like a son of a bitch. That's inflation. Because now, like I say, you ain't able to do the same things that you used to do. You know what I'm saying? You ain't able to go to the same place. I'm not able to even do for my kids like I used to. I can't complain, but it's like, they got to understand, like, I ain't got it right now. Like, it's like, I can go out and get it, but it's a gamble every time I go out and try to get it because most of the times, sometimes you're successful and sometimes you're not. You know what I'm saying? So you can't even, so now my kids got to suffer because it's like, I'm lucky one of my sons grown, and I'm lucky my other son got a great fucking mother, you know what I'm saying, and a great stepdad, that can cover, you know what I'm saying. I still do my thing, but can cover when the times that I may be short or I may, be lacking and stuff like that can cover for me and won't complain and understand because they know when I got it, I do everything for them. So it's to a point where they understand, and they understand because they probably in a situation because of the inflation and shit like that. So it's like, okay, now I have to step up my game because I can't let that be an excuse, inflation or whatever, for me not being able to take care of my kid, because my son is not going to understand that. He's not going to understand inflation and the high price of gas, and he's going to understand I need school clothes. I need this, and who the hell is this? Oh, I need school clothes. I need money to go here. I need money for that. I need new shoes. I need haircut. He don't understand what's going on in society, right? Just like your kids probably ain't gonna understand. They're not gonna understand the word inflation. They don't know the word high gas. They just know take me here, take me there. I need this, I need that. And it's not their job to really know. It's our job to cover whatever it is, or try our best to cover it, right? But it gets to a point where, like, everyone has a breaking point. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has a point where it's like, okay, where what do I do if it get to this point? You know what I'm saying? And I have never thought that in my life. And everybody like, what do I do if it gets to this point? You know? That's my producer right there. But I'm gonna call you up for the club tomorrow, right? Oh, shit, they busting firecrackers out here. What up with it, man?
Did you get it, man? Did you get the flyers?
We got the flyers. I finna look at it right now. Cause they made some bullshit flyers for, you know what I'm saying? I finna look at it right now.
I did two of them. My homeboy did two of them for you.
Okay, I got them. I'm finna send them to him right now.
Tell them to send them out to their whole people, United States of America, and tell them to go and get like three. Let me see, 6, 8. Try to get like 22 people apiece or something.
All right, for sure. I'm gonna call you right back.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, and see the other birthday person talking about, or you can send that to that other person.
All right.
Tell them, yeah, like that.
All right, for sure. I got you.
Okay.
All right.
Call me back.
All right. See, and one day, right, that's me, right, see, I'm working like that's the producer for a club, but me, what I'm doing right is I'm doing what I'm calling the internship, right, is I'm the comedian, right, and he is a producer. He got a producer and he got a club. He got a little money he put behind the shows and stuff like that. So what I do is I'm doing all the work right now. I'm getting all the people, right? I'm getting all the comedians. I'm performing. I'm getting all the entertainers, right? And I'm building the show, right? I don't have the money to get the clubs right now and stuff like he got, right? So I'm doing all the work right now, all the leg work, all the hard work, right? I don't mind doing it, right? Because I've done it before, right? When I know what I'm doing, right? So at one point in time, when I do raise up enough money, I'm going to be able to branch off and get my own stuff, and it would be easier for me to just transfer than me to try to build. You know what I'm saying? So instead of me going and putting the money up and like, oh yeah, come and get this club, and I'm, you know what I'm saying? Me, Art, just get in here, get a club, get all the people, get my fan base back up. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll be able to go and take my act to another club. You know what I'm saying? Where I can have money that I can probably do live shows and stuff like that, and put shows on Patreon, which I'm aiming to do, put live shows. But I want to build my fan base up like that. So that's why I have to. Like, I'm glad that he called, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm doing right now. I can't put up the money. So right now, it's okay. I work under somebody, you know, that can. I do the work, you know what I'm saying? And I run it like it's my show, right? Until I'm able to get the money and be able to get my own club, you know what I'm saying? I can do my own thing. Right now, I don't have that money, and I understand that, you know what I'm saying? But if I work hard, like I said, I'm a capitalist, you know what I'm saying? And I work hard, I know one day it's gonna come, you know what I'm saying? With me doing YouTube videos. Y'all don't see the shit I do on the streets, like passing out flyers. Everybody say like, you a hard working son of a bitch, because if you saw how hard I work on the street, you know what I'm saying, just passing out flyers and trying to get my name out for free, right? You be like, how the hell you got time to do videos? And people who see me do videos like, how the hell you have time to do it? Like, man, I just trying to work hard, man. I just try to stay out the way. I try to work hard, you know what I'm saying? And and I'm a capitalist. I know one day it's going to pay off. It's not paying off right now, but I can't give up, you know what I'm saying? Because one day it's going to pay off. They took my YouTube channel. They took my subscribers and all that. I can't cry about spoiled milk. Well, oh, they took my shit. And nah, I got to work hard, get that shit back. You know, so I can't cry over spilled milk. You know, that's how. That's for babies and kittens. You know what I'm saying? And if I keep crying, what the fuck the baby's gonna do? Huh? The baby's got to do something. You know. But yeah, that's my big aim right now. So right now, like I say, I'm finna do the leg work. So I'm finna get off of here. I'm finna do some leg work. I'm finna go get some comedians. I'm finna try to invite some more people. I'm finna go out and hit the streets and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I can get away some of these shirts or some of these people to come to the club. So I will see y'all tomorrow, and time for me to go to work on my second job. You know what I'm saying? I'll holler at y'all on the next video. And like I say, if you want to help with this poll black boy, right, and you want to help my dream come true a little faster, you know what I'm saying, because like I say, I save all my money, you know what I'm saying, so all you got to do is send some donations, you know what I'm saying, you can send $5, $2, $1, it doesn't matter, all of that shit adds up, you know what I'm saying, every little now and then, look out for your boy, because a couple of people send some donations like $1 here, $1 there, $1 there, all that shit adds up at the end of the day, and then I can stop working for motherfuckers, and then I get my own club, and shoot my own videos, and make my own movie. It's just like Sunday's always happened. I was right there, then COVID hit, bam! I was right there, then it took my page, bam! I was making a comeback, then everything rose, bam! What the fuck? Like, when am I gonna get a break around this summer, bitch? Like, everything that's happened, like the happiest time of my life, I was just, like I said, I was doing jokes out of my car, you know what I'm saying? And then I moved into a motel room. Then I got my first shit. I was on the happiest. I was the happiest motherfucker in the world. Everything was going my way. And my YouTube page cracking. Then all of a sudden, COVID, bam! Like everything locked down, clubs and everything. I was like, I was just finna get me my own club. I was running around filming shit like I'm finna get my own shit, right? Everything closed down, bam! Oh, no club, no performing, no going outside. Okay, cool, right? I still got my YouTube page, right? Oh, YouTube, you been a bully to Joe Biden. Bam! We cut your motherfucking ass off of all this shit. Like, okay, like, damn, they done cut me off of this. Okay, I'm still good. I got a little money saved up, you know what I'm saying? Then I hit the YouTube, and they helped me out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And then right after that, gas, bam! Food, bam! Rent, bam! Like, what the fuck? All that at once? Like, what the fuck? I can't catch a motherfucking break for nothing. Is this a test? What the fuck? Like, is this a test? Like that's impossible for them three things to just happen all like when you at the best, but you gotta keep up and you gotta count your blessings. You can't be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm losing. You gotta look at the shit you gain. You know what I'm saying? Like I gain. You can't look at the shit you done lost. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I look at the positives in my life. I try to not look at the negatives, like me consistently losing money because these motherfucking prices keep on consistently going up, and I'm consistent in LA, and I'm not getting no motherfucking raise. Joe Biden didn't put that shit in the rescue plan for comedians. He didn't put no motherfucking pay raise in the rescue plan for comedians. Ain't no retirement plan for this shit. You got to get it how you can get it. You know what I'm saying? Who sent me a donation? Island High. Get looking out, Island High. You know what I'm saying? Your donation will go with Tom donation. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else who donated on here and go on something positive. You feel me? We need more people like Island High. Good looking. Who sent me a donation. He felt the speech. He felt the love. You can send it to PayPal if you don't want to sit on here. But I'm out this bitch. I holla at y'all tomorrow. I got to go to work. I'm out.